Okay, here we go. So this is what the completed gable roof looks like, and you've got rafters. These are called rafters or common rafters. Up at the top, you've got a piece of wood there called a ridge board. Ridge board connects everything together at the top, and at the bottom, you've got this piece here, which is a fascia board. Okay, that connects all the ends together. And then along the way, the rafter kind of gets cut around the double top plate like that. Okay, that cuts a little bit too deep, but that's okay, just to give you an idea. And that is a gable roof. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift this up, and I'm going to draw a gable roof, show you how to get it going. Okay, so there we go, and now I'm going to lift that up. Whoops. Okay, so there we go, out of the way. All right, now let's go draw. Okay, into the building here. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the center of the building using, actually no, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a rectangle. Okay, now the rectangle, you don't have to measure this, just start in the upper corner, and you're going to draw a rectangle that covers the building. It doesn't matter, that's fine right there. Okay, so I'm going to click there, and I'm going to bring this out. This is just going to help us draw. This is obviously not part of your roof or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to lift it. I'm going to raise it up like this. Okay, I'll raise it up, straight up like that, and then at each side, I'm going to pull this out. Now you have to pull it out the same amount, so I'm going to pull it out just 8 inches, just for argument's sake. Okay, that 8 inches will be the size of my overhang, so how far the rafters will stick out from the building. Okay, so you see what I just did? So I just drew a shape, a square or rectangle, okay, that sticks out the same amount on both sides. Okay, now how high up does it go? It doesn't really matter because we're going to get rid of most of it. And that's about it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to make that a group. So 1, 2, 3, make it a group. And then I'm going to grab my tape measure, and I'm going to find the center of this. Now it's important, I'm going to find the center of this, but it has to have the same amount of overhang here, so that I did 8 inches there, and I did 8 inches there. Okay, so now I'm going to find the center of that, and by finding the center of it, I'm also finding the center of the building. Okay, so the distance here is the same as the distance there on the building. That's really important. And now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw that ridge board, okay, that connects all the rafters together at the top. It's 1.5 inches thick. So here's what I do. I'm going to go this direction, 3/4, 3/4, and then I'm going to go back the other way. From there, I'm going to go back 1.5 inches. Okay, and now I'm going to come down from the top. Now you decide how high up you want your roof to go. So I'm going to look at my building here. Okay, so there's the building, and I want to go up, let me see. I want to go up maybe about that high. That looks good to me. Okay, so that's how high up I go. And now down from that line, I'm going to come 7 1/4. Okay, 7.25, which is the width of a 2x8. Okay, and I grab my rectangle tool, go in here, and I'm going to create the ridge board like that, and I'm going to pull this out. Okay, pull it out like that, and I'm going to pull it to the end of the building right here. Okay, so that's the ridge board for now. It has to go. We're going to be pulling it out on both ends, but for now I'm done. And so I'm going to make that a group. Okay, and now we're going to draw our rafters. So to draw the rafters, we're going to go like this. We're going to take the line tool, and we're going to draw a line from the top here to the outside here. Now, when you draw this, you're going to have your rafter. You're going to have your rafter cut around that top plate. So let's just see where we're at here. Actually, I'm going to use a chalk. I almost said a chalk line. I'm going to use a tape measure here, and I'm going to draw a line like that. And then I'm going to see how far away I am from this top plate, because the width of these rafters is 5.5 inches. Okay, 5.5. So I think I have to turn that into a line. So I'm going to turn that into a line like that, and then I'm going to take the tape measure, and I'm going to go in here, and we're going to come this way. We're going to come along. See it turns pink there? So let me, there we go. Okay, so 5.5 inches is about there. Okay, so I'm going to, let's try that. So there's that, and let's see here. Yeah, we'll use that. Okay, there's a way of doing this. It's difficult to do in SketchUp, but there's a way of doing this. A carpenter on the site needs to have a certain amount of wood in that cut bearing on there. So let's draw that. I'm going to go back up here. And I'm going to pick from the end of this line down to here. Now watch what I do here. This is really important. So I'm going to cut around, I'm going to go around this top plate. Okay, so I'm going to come down here, draw here, so there's one line, and then I'm going to extend the line. See the line? I'm going to draw it there, and then I'm also going to draw it down here. Okay, and then I'm going to extend it. Oops. I'm going to extend it down here like that, and finally up here like this, which you have to do, because the other line that's there right now, that's part of another group. So I'm drawing a new line, like that. Okay, and so now I have a rafter, and now okay, so I've drawn a line up there, and then I just have to go up top here, and I have to draw a line from here to here, and that will make sure that it forms a closed kind of rectangle. And now I can pull it out. Okay, now I can pull it out 1.5, and now the only last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here. Okay, and I'm going to take the line tool, and I'm just going to make a line across here, there, and I'm going to push that back to there. Okay, and that's it. That's the finished rafter, finished common rafter. So now that I have the rafter, okay, now I can make it a group. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, make it a group. So I have 3 groups now. I have the big rectangle I made, I have the ridge board, and I have the common rafter. Okay, and now we can get rid of some stuff. So I'm going to get rid of these lines here, and then I'm going to get rid of this square. Okay, and we are left with a common rafter. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple things. So first I'm going to pull the ridge board out. Okay, so I'm going to open this group, and I'm going to pull that forward 8 inches. Remember 8 inches is our overhang, 8 inches we did on the side. So I'm going to do that there at that end, and I'm also going to do it at this end. Okay, 8, enter, like that. Okay, then, now what I want to do is I want to copy. So what I want to do is I want to take this rafter and I want to flip it around to the other side. There's 2 ways of doing that. Okay, so the first is to rotate and copy. So watch how this works. I'm going to take this right here, and you want that blue. See the blue protractor? That's what you want. Okay, don't use the green. You want the blue one. If it's not going to stay blue on you, then hold the shift key down like this. Okay, hold the shift key down, and it will stay blue. I'm going to click once, click twice, and I'm going to start to rotate that rafter, and as I rotate it, on a Mac I hit Option, on a PC I hit Control. And now look at the numbers in the bottom right. Okay, you want to type, you want to do 180. See the 180 degrees? If it doesn't go to 180, then type 180, and then after that, hit return. But in this case, it went to 180 for me, so I'm just going to click it. Okay, and now I'm going to move that in place. So what I did is I rotated and copied the rafter. And so now I'm going to grab it. Look where I grab it. I'm going to grab it right here. This thing's called the bird's mouth, by the way. Okay, this funny cutout is called a bird's mouth. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to grab it there, and I'm going to zoom in here. And I'm just going to place that bird's mouth right there like that. And if everything worked out, okay, then it fits. And then from here, all you're going to do is you're just going to line up the rafters with the studs below to make 16 inches on center. Watch how I do this. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to double click, and that sends, see what that does? That sends a dotted line up there, and then all I have to do is move and copy these rafters over. So I grab that, I move and copy it, okay, and I'm going to do that again, move and copy, and I'm going to hit, now I'm going to hit times, I don't know how many there are, I'm going to do times 10, and see how that is. Okay, oh, I almost had enough. Okay, so listen, let me finish off this one side here. Okay, so I'm going to take that, I'm going to move and copy it. It's 16 inches. Okay, so I type 16, and I'm going to do times, let's do times 2. Okay, and that's it. So this is kind of part 1 of the video, okay? So that gets you going. I'm going to do a part 2. That gets you going. But basically, now you know how to do both sides, all right? And then I will be showing you part 2. Okay, thank you.